What's up, Sold Out family? Welcome to another exciting episode of Live Soulfully. Now, today we're going to be speaking to one of Bermuda's greatest boxers and entrepreneurs, Nikki Bascome, about his upcoming fight this weekend. So let's go see what he has to say. So thank you, Nikki, for talking to us today. Before we get into the lead up and the preparation to this weekend's fight, the greatest fight night at Fairmont, we want to talk to you a little bit about your last fight, the takeover. And we do know that actual fight was promoted by Team Nikki, which is actually a great thing for you guys, right?
Yes.
So, but before, talk to us a little bit about that fight and how you felt everything went.
It was successful. I got the victory. That's the main thing, you
Right.
know. People came out, supported. I'm appreciated for that. It was a lot going on that night, so we didn't get a big crowd like we was expecting, but you know, it all worked out because I got the victory. That's the main thing, and that's all I think about. I don't care about all the other stuff because at the end of the day, it don't mean nothing if I don't win. So.
What was something that you specifically learned about your boxing and style going into this fight?
You know, I just have to believe in myself, trust my trainer, trust my training, and just go in there and do what I do best. That's the main thing. And it always pays off when I put my 110% in. So I know going into a fight, I have to do that every time. So this time is no different.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing. It's hard work. It's sacrifice. Dedicating myself, studying, listening, resting, being around positive people, and just going there and doing what I do best. That's to win and box. You know.
Now that's from a boxing standpoint. What about an entrepreneur standpoint? What did you learn from, as a businessman and going into this fight now?
I learned that I have to let people around me do what they do best as well, because I'm like a perfectionist. So
Right.
I learned to stay in my lane because I want certain things work. So I always try to get in, like, look, man, you shouldn't do this and that. When I should be really focusing on the fight,
Right.
because that's my job at the end of the day. So I learned to just trust my team and let them do what they got to do and let me do what I'm going to do and stay in my lane, and everything will work out. As far as, the business part is a good thing for me. It's motivation. It helps me stay focused in training, meaning I have something to live up to. People hear about me and see what I'm doing, so it's motivation. It's like, okay, let's live up to the hype,
Right. Now, leading up to this week's Saturday night, I mean, obviously we want to talk to you a little about your fitness regime and how you've managed to combat any challenges you had before leading up to now. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Like I said before, I just stick to what I do best. I try not to change too much. I do what works for me, and as far as fitness, everything is going great. I'm at a great camp. And training with young up-and-coming fighters, so they're hungry and they're getting experience by being with me, and it helps me to stay on my toes. And every day I'm training, I'm like, these young guys,
They look up to you, right?
Right. So they're gonna do their best in sparring and stuff. So it keeps me on my toes more than anything. And then, my running and all that, it's still the same. I try not to change too much.
Yeah. What would you say, or what advice would you give someone? I mean, these young kids that they idolize you, that you're their motivation and inspiration. What advice would you give them, like if this is a profession and career that they want to choose to pursue?
First of all, you have to like it and love it, really, because at the end of the day, it's a dangerous sport. It's a lot of wear and tear on the body. You have to really put your work in more than anything, and most of all, take it serious, because you don't want to get seriously hurt or seriously injured. And as you get older, I'm noticing that you have to make twice as much more sacrifices, because you're going to the top, and it's more distractions. It's more people that are doubting you and criticizing you. So you have to make even more sacrifices. So at the end of the day, for me, my advice to them, if you're gonna do it, take it serious and be around people that know the sport. Don't be around people that don't really know what they're talking about, because like I said, you get hurt.
Yeah.
And you don't want that.
Now, for some people who know you, they know that one of your inspirations is Floyd Mayweather, right?
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about that, because Floyd Mayweather, now he's a boxer, and we see you transitioning into that same businessman. I mean, what type of leadership does he bring, or what type of advice do you see from him in how to pursue yourself as not just a full-time boxer, but also as an entrepreneur, as a businessman?
What I've learned from Floyd is taking care of you first. Before, like in boxing in the olden days, a lot of fighters got taken advantage of, and meaning they didn't really know what they were signing up for. Like, at the end of the day, the boxer takes all the risks. It's the one that's running 6-7 miles a day. It's the one that's sparring every other day. It's the one that's taking the punishment. So at the end of the day, as a fighter, you have to take control of what you want and what works for you. Mind you, at the end of the day, you have to work your way up. You can't just be like, I got one fight, I'm the guy, and I want this.
Right.
You still have to produce. And what I learned from him, from observation, is you have to produce, and you have to put your work in, and you have to build your record up to where you have that leeway to say, this is what I want. Yeah. I'm blessed to be in that position right now. I just try not to let it get the best of me, because at the end of the day, if I lose, that can all go away.
Right.
So I just try to take one day at a time, you know what I mean? Continue to do what's got me to where I am, and just stay with the people that got me here. So that's the main thing. That's another thing I learned from him. He's been around the same people from the beginning, people that are really for him.
Yeah,
you know, you don't
he's
want
got a good, strong team behind him, especially with his dad and everybody.
Exactly.
It's like a family, almost like a family community that's leading with or moving with him.
Exactly, and then on top of that, his brand is a worldwide thing. People follow it, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, I had this in my mind before that.
Right.
But it is what it is. But I took that blueprint and I put it into my own.
Yeah, applied it to you.
Right, because my brand's a little different.
Yeah.
It's
what
more,
is the Nikki Bascome brand then?
Well, it's not really me though.
Yeah.
Fresh and Hungry is Bermuda. It's about up and coming talent. People in the community, it's for the people really, and the children that are trying to aspire to be something big. And it's motivation. It's all about unity.
Yeah.
And I feel with Fresh and Hungry, that's what it does. It brings everybody together and gets that positive energy, and brings everybody have that pride.
Yeah.
Because that's what I want to represent. I want to bring Bermuda that pride back as winners.
And at a time where we could use it most, right?
Exactly. So, it's a good thing. It's not just for boxing. It started a little bit with music as well, and it coincided, and then it came together. And then I just came up with the idea, well, I ain't getting no sponsorship right now. Let me make some merchandise so I can help sponsor myself, and get the equipment I need. If let's say I need to travel to train, I have something in the kitty. So.
You're not the first athlete that's actually said, when it comes to athletes in Bermuda being sponsored and people actually rallying behind our young athletes. I mean, how do you feel about that?
It's a tough situation, because we're from a small island, so the pool is not that big.
Right.
And then another thing, I'm in a risky sport. And I noticed that a lot of these companies, they don't really like boxing like that, because it's the risk, and some people think it's not a sport, but to each his own. But I'm thankful and blessed to have Gorms on my side.
Right.
Gorms came on board, but they've been helping me a lot. Like anything I need, if I have to go away, you need to go to camp, okay, we got you. And they're very supportive of anything I do, because they believe in me and they see my vision.
Yeah.
So that's the nice thing. But I also had Get Security, who started with me in 2011, 12.
Right.
Me and Rigo me and my coach Riga, we was coming from a fight, and we was talking with Kevin Smith, one of the CEO of Gas Security, and he just saw my vision too. He just was like, you know, I want to help this young man, and he's been on board with me ever since. Him, Mr. Birch, they've done so much for me behind closed doors that people don't see, and you know, I'm thankful and appreciative.
That's good to hear. Well, okay, so you're giving us a little rundown about your brand and how you're trying to move forward. The fight on Saturday night. What can people expect?
You're gonna expect a focused Nikki, a sharp, and Nikki at his best. You know, I've been training very hard for this fight. I'm feeling good. You know, like I said, I've been training with young guys, and they've been pushing me in sparring. So I'm very excited. I'm had Troy Darrow. I don't know if you know Troy Darrow. He was a former professional fighter. He was rated number 5 in the world at one point. He's been in my corner helping me out as well alongside Riga. So I'm just excited. You know, I just want to get it over with. I want to win and come back home and spend time with my girlfriend, my family, my friends, you know.
Speaking of, you know how some people cut off everybody and they try to remain focused. Is that something that you pursue as well in your leads up to your fight?
Yeah, I cut off people because it gets crazy.
Not cut off like that?
I cut them off because I just need that time to focus on the fight, because if it's not one thing, it's another thing. Like, if my phone's on all the time, oh, what about this, what about that, and if I just don't cut it off, then it will just keep getting right up to the fight.
Right.
And so I just learned to just
kind of distance a little bit.
Yeah. You know, I still keep in touch with everybody, you know, weekends, by the time, you know, I get a little relaxation. I hit everybody up, you know, spend time. But this fight's been different as well, because normally I fly away to train.
Oh, okay.
This time I'm staying here, studying.
So how does it compare to you training abroad versus training in Bermuda? What's the comparison like?
Less distractions.
Yeah.
Less distractions. And it's also more competition away. But I don't let that get to me, because at the end of the day, you know, it's competition regardless. Because like I said, these young guys are hungry, and you know, they want to make a name for themselves. They see what I'm doing, so at the end of the day, I'm helping them and they're helping me by staying here. But I know I can't do it for every fight, but something in my mind and my heart told me to stay here to train for this fight. So I just said, you know, Rigo, I'm going to stay here to train for this fight. And that's what I done. Yeah, you could follow us on Instagram at fresh.and.hungry. You could DM us if you need anything. Also, you could also find Gur at Sports Source in Hamilton in the mall. And at the fight, if you know you want to support the movement, you could also donate or purchase anything at the fight. We have a store set up selling merchandise. So thank you.
All right, so we just want to thank Nikki for speaking with us today. Don't forget, go check out his brand, Fresh and Hungry, on Instagram. And please, please, please come out and support. The fight is taking place this week, Saturday, at the Fairmont, Southampton. Doors open at 6, so we'll see you there.
West, town, country, straight up. I love my whole country. I got love for everybody. It's just how I feel. I'm not just anybody. I'm from country. Can't help where I was raised in my country, but I still love my